This conference will now be recorded.
Hey, good morning, guys. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
Very good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Okay. So we are talking about student custom application creation. Okay. Application creation. So in the custom application creation, now that we are here, there are two ways. There are two ways of designing the form. What is form? Form is a collection of fields. Yeah, collection of fields. So there are two ways that we can design a form. One is form design, form layout. Okay. So as part of the student information that we created a form, right? So let me show you that. Okay. So we created a student name, father name, student ID, student country, student city, comments and marks, right? Now what we're going to do, the other concept what we're going to talk is view. Okay. Remember, view is nothing but it's a collection of fields rearranged into different views. Collection of fields rearranged into different views. For example, if you look into incident form, if this incident form has been coming from this is one view. Okay, this is one view. Whatever like a number, color, category, and whatever you see, this is one view. And if you see this, if you click on here, and if you see this, these are all different type of views that are available. Okay, if you click here, it will show. So if you see this password, okay, this is a different view. And if you see the major incident, this is a different view, right? Matrix, it's a different view, right? So similarly, how we can build the view that we're going to learn today. Okay, what is view? View is a different arranging the fields in different formats, right? Instead of recreating view. Okay, so now go to Narayana, student information, and open this. Now go to right click, configure form design. In the form design, what we're going to do, if you see this, this is a form design form, right? So this is a default view what we currently see out of the box. What we have default view here, right? So now that is a default view. So I'm going to create a new view here. Click on new. What is the view name? View name is grade. Student grade. Okay, right? So now this is a new view. You can delete the sections, you can do whatever you want. Nothing will change into the original view, right? So now I'm not going to delete anything. Instead, I'm just going to add a new section here. New section. Move it here. I will say student grade. Okay. Creating a couple of choice options here. Choice. Okay. So let's overall. Okay. So, right. We created a tab, but that's not being displayed here. Why? Because we are in a default view now. If you click on it, now we have a new view that is added here, which is student grade. If you click on the student grade, you will see another tab called student grade. We have multiple choices here. Right? We have multiple choices here. So this is called views, and you can create a number of views based on your requirement. Okay, what is view? View is rearranging, okay, rearranging the fields, okay, from same table in different styles. Okay, so it's like rearranging the fields from the same table in different styles. That's a view, right? So you can create a number of views. So I can go back to default view and I can also go back to this one. This is views. Any questions? Okay. Now, so yesterday we talked about a concept called reference qualifier. What is reference qualifier? What is reference qualifier? What is difference qualifier? Okay. So reference, using a reference qualifier, we can see the fields. Okay, we can see the filter data. Okay. Filter data. Okay. You can see the filter data coming from referred. Okay, that's a reference qualifier. Okay, now I have a use case. Now I have a use case. We have two fields. One is student city, student country, and the one is student city. If you see this, if I select India, irrespective of what I've selected here, I can see all the cities here. I should be able to see only Hyderabad and New Delhi. I don't want to see all the cities here. Similarly, USA. I should see only New York and New Jersey. UK, I should see only London, New York. Okay, this is the use case. What is the use case? Use case is student city currently, irrespective of what country we selected, okay, we are able to see all the cities in city, student city. Okay, instead, if I select India, I should be able to see only India cities, UK cities. If I select UK, then UK cities, USA, USA cities. Something like, if I select India, I should be able to see Hyderabad, New Delhi, UK, London, Liverpool, USA, New Jersey, here, like this. This is the format. This is how it should look. It should looks like. Now, how can I do this? Okay, so we have a concept called dependency views. We have a concept called dependency views. Using a dependency views, we can configure this kind of functionality. Okay, using the dependency views, we can configure this kind of functionality. How can I do is, the very first thing that what you need to understand here is what field is depending on what field. What field is depending on what field. That you need to understand. Example, when I change the India, it should only show me Hyderabad and New Delhi. That means this field behavior need to change based on depending on this field. Yeah. If I select USA, this should change to only New York, New Jersey. Right? That means what is happening? This field is changing their behavior based on what the student country is selected as. Okay. So now, where do you need to write a dependency? You need to write a dependency on here. Right. So right click on it, configure dictionary, Come down, go to advanced view. Come down, click on dependent field, use dependent field. Okay, here you see a dependent field. Okay, I'll come back again if you are confused. This is a field that we are going to write dependency because this field need to be dependent on this field, right? So right click on it, configure dictionary. Come down, click on advanced view. Come down. You see choice specification dependent view. You need to write dependent view here. Use dependent field. As soon as you put a tick mark here, it will ask you to it will ask what field that you want me to depend on. Which field you want me to depend on. So which field this need to be depend on? Student, country. Select, update. Right. So we just told student country student city need to be dependent on student country. But did we give the mapping? When what field selected here and what field need to be selected here? Did we give the mapping? No. We didn't give the mapping here, right? So now what we need to do, so we need to give the mapping here. See now, as of now I didn't give any mapping, so it is like it shows none, right? So now go select student country first. Okay, come down. Now what is the value of India? 10, USA 20, UK 30, right? Keep in mind. Open this tab in new one. Open this. Go to student city, configure dictionary. Okay, come down. As soon as you make the field dependency, you see the dependent value. Okay, so which field is this particular student country is depending on what field? Student country. That is going to be your dependent field. Student country will be your dependent field. So Liverpool should display whenever your dependent value is what? Whenever your dependent value become UK. What is the value of UK? Are you following me?
Yeah, 30.
And what is New Jersey? New Jersey is part of USA, right?
20.
So it is like 20. Very good. New York 20. Hyderabad. No, right? So London and Liverpool will 30-30. That means what happens? UK. Whenever your dependent value become 30-30, it will display London, Liverpool. Whenever your dependent value become 20-20, right? Whenever you become dependent value become 20, New Jersey and New York will display. When it is 10, Hyderabad and New Delhi will display, right? Great. Yeah. So this concept will be called as dependency views. This is a use case people will ask you, how will I achieve this without writing a code, right? Dependency views. Good. Any questions? Okay, very good. Now, so that's about a student country and student city. Now, I have another use case that I wanted to discuss. What is the use case is? What is the other use case here is, if I select, okay, if I select user in student name, okay, select student name, I wanted to see his department in another field. Caution, note, do not create a new field. Instead, call from session. Okay. So what is this use case means here is? Give me a minute, I'll get some water. Okay, kind of dehydrated for a moment. Huh? Can you hear me? Oh, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank God somebody responded. Very good. Okay, so what is the use case? If I select a user in student name, I wanted to see his department in another field. Note, do not create a new field, instead call from sysuser. So what is the use case here? Right. So if you select a user here, John Newton, I wanted to see his department underneath of this field in a new in another field. But the customer said, do not create a field because extra field is chargeable. Right? Do not create a new field. Instead, call from this user. How is this possible? Right? You're saying do not create a field and you call from sysuser. Now let's go back to sysuser. Open any of the user. If you see the user, you will have first name, last name, title, department, password, department. Right? So there is a new field, there's a separate field for the department here. Okay. That means what user is telling me, call this field to the script. Sorry, call this field to the student information table. Call this field to student information table. How can I do that? How can I do that? It's something like this. Okay. So we have a concept called dot walkings. Okay. Using dot walkings, we can call the field from referred table. Referred table. What is the purpose of a reference table? Reference table is a field that will refer to a table, and using a reference table, we can call the records. But using a dot walk-in, we can also call the fields from a referred table. Okay, using a reference. So what is happening here? This is a reference field. right? What are we doing? This is referring to a user table, and from a user table, I'm calling this record. Fair enough. But using this dot walk-in, I can also call the fields from a user table. How? That I will show you, right? So what is the use case? We need to have a department here. Right? We need to see the department. Right? So simple, very straightforward. Right click, configure, and click on form layout. When you click on form layout, this is a slush bucket, right? In the slush bucket, you'll see every field looks in black color apart from two fields, which is student name and father name. Okay. Remember, if you ever see a field which is in green color with a plus symbol, that means that's a reference field. In the slush bucket, if you see a field with green color, plus symbol, that means it's a reference field. Okay, and dot walkings only possible in reference field. Okay, now how can we do this, right? So what do we need? So we need a student name. Click on this. As soon as if you see this, nothing will happen. But if you click on this, there is a tree that will appear here. If you click on this tree, here you will see the fields from a referred table: active, Avata, building, business phone, company, cost center, blah blah blah. What do we need? We need department. Grab it, move it, and see. Now if I select John, he belongs to IT department, right? And similarly, if I select Chase, she belongs to sales, right? Like this, I can only not call department. I can call anything: phone number, manager name, fax number, email address, and I can also call any field that is with the field should be available on the sys user table. The field must be available on the sys user table, right? This concept will be called as dot walkings. This concept will be called as dot walkings. Okay. Any questions? Okay. Not weird, huh? Not having. You understand it fully, or you're not able to understand nothing. Anyway, if you have a question, please come back to me. Okay. This is about now that what we talked about. Yeah. Is there a question?
Yes, actually, Vijay. Regarding these dot walkings, I mean, these are, I mean, from interview perspective, are these limited to conceptual view, conceptuals, or are there any used cases for this which we have to, I mean, have to work on?
Is this not a use case? This is a use case, right? We are calling a department, right? So we can also call email, right? We can also call phone number. We can also call photograph, right? That's what the use case we're talking about.
Okay, I wanted you to explain this again. Is it possible, Vijay?
Which part?
The dot walkings part complete. I'm not. I didn't get a hold of it.
See, dot walk-ins works for reference field. Okay, so dot walk-in. The first thing what you need to remember here: dot walk-ins referred works on a reference field. The use case for the functionality of the dot walk-ins is What is the reference field? Let me ask you this. What is the reference field? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm coming. The reference
What is
field.
the reference field?
Reference. It's a type of field type with this magnifier symbol.
What is the use? How do we? What is the use of it? From a reference field, what we get?
I mean,
What is the behavior of a reference field?
no, Vijay, I'm not sure.
Anyone? What is the behavior of a reference? I just told you, right? Just 5 minutes back. Soumya,
Yes.
do you know what is the reference field? I mean, what is the behavior of a reference field?
Can you repeat?
Reference field.
Behavior of?
So you can
Behavior of a
choose
reference
some.
field. Okay, what is the behavior of reference field? Anybody? Anyone? That's fine. Not only Soumya, not only Sandesh. What is the behavior of a reference field? Okay.
You can choose data, I believe.
What is a significance of a reference field? What is choice option? Choice is nothing but what is string?
Alpha, numerical, and
Can you complete the sentence, please? So what is alphanumerics?
okay, like that. The combination which involves string as a which involves numericals, uh, alpha and alphanumericals. The combination is called a string.
What is a string?
Okay.
A field type which allows alphanumerics less. It's for your good only, guys. I just want you to
Alphanumerics,
this
numerics.
There are special characters also.
special characters. Special characters, right? Special characters. What is integer?
Only numeric values.
Yes.
Field, please complete the statement, right? So if you give the same answer in interviews, they will definitely say no, right? Field which allows
Integers only, numericals only.
numerics also, right? Numerics. What is drop down? If you see a drop down fields, what does it mean? If you see a drop down means, so what is that field type?
Choice, I think.
Choice. Okay, very good. What is this field? What is this field type called as? I explained it 3 times yesterday.
Choice suggestion.
Choice suggestion. Very good. Very good. Really appreciate it. Right? Choice suggestion. Okay. Very good. What is general field?
It's like to input some data like comment
Comment
field
section.
where we can see the cursor blinking.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Very good. Really appreciate it. Now what is reference field?
Reference field is the field where we find a magnifier symbol, clicking which we can get into other table and fetch data from there.
Absolutely. Right. So refer to a table and fetch the data. Right. Fetch the data from refer table. Right. This is the reference table. The significance of the reference table is what? It's always refer to a table and fetch the data from a reference table. Right. So it will fetch the data from a reference table. Now what is dot walk is doing here? It is fetching the what dot walking is doing here. A reference field is fetching the records, right? Records from the table. Records from the table, right? Then what is dot walking is doing is dot walking is fetching the fields from the reference table. Okay, nothing, no problem. So you will understand slowly. That's not a question here. See now, a reference field will refer to a table and fetch the record from a reference table. Santosh, are you getting it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Vijay.
Yeah. A reference field will refer to a table and fetch the record from a referred table. See this. This one. Right? This is a reference field. This is referring to a table and fetching the data, and we are selecting a record here, right? Then what is dot walk-ins? Dot walk-ins, using dot walk-in, we will fetch the reference table fields. What are we fetching the? We are fetching the field. This table, this reference field is referring to what table?
User table.
User table. If you go to user table here, what fields you have? N number of fields. User ID, first name, last name, title, department, password, and all. What field we are fetching now? To the student information. Department.
Okay.
Right. Let me add another field, right, from the same field, right? So right click, configure form layout, right? Student name, tree, right? I want to populate email, let's say email. See now, if I select John Newton, he belonged to IT, he belonged to email address is a@a.com. Now go to sys user. His name is, he belonged to IT, email is a@a. Understood?
Yes.
Understood?
Yeah, got the concept on how the retrieval happens. I need to try it.
You were not audible, Santosh. Can you be a little bit louder, please?
Yeah, I got the concept, Vijay. I need to try it once. Check it. Yeah.
It's not a rocket science. That's okay. Yes, it'll take time, but don't worry. Don't lose the confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's just a cakewalk. Don't worry. Okay. Everybody,
Thanks.
understood? Amit. Guys, sometimes please respond. No, I feel like I'm talking to robots. Understood? Are we clear on this concept? Yes, no, all right. Please respond.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank you. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Okay, so now that we know, okay, if I forgot, let me paste this here,
Please.
right? That'll be a problem. Okay, now we talked about a reference field. Now we know what is reference field. Let me ask you this, not to poke you, but what is reference qualifier? Forgot. What is reference qualifier?
I mean,
Using reference qualifier, we can
field where simple, dynamic, and advanced.
filter the data coming from referred table. Don't buy half the subject here, please. Understood the logic, right? That's why we're talking about use cases. See now. So student name is referring to sys user table. How many users we are seeing? 624. Father name is also referring to the same table. But why we are seeing 58 here? Father name is also same table, right? It's also referring to the same table. But why we are showing only 58 users? Any idea? What have we done yesterday? That means you're not practicing. Okay, very good. We used a reference qualifier, guys. See this? Reference specification. What is the filter that we used? Department is IT, gender is male. Are we able to recall? Please say yes, no, all right. Nothing, not interested. I'm done bothered about this class. Not interested?
No, got it. Could relate to it.
Guys, please, if you don't know, please tell me I don't know. Don't make me repeat the statements, please. Yeah. Okay, that's fine, right? So this is the reference field and the reference qualifier dot walk-ins. Okay, so reference field, reference qualifier, reference field, all these three related to the concept called reference field type. Then we also talked about dependency views today. Dependency views. What is dependency views? Dependency views are nothing but it makes dependent on the other field. So how is populated here? So India, if I select India, I can see Hyderabad, Delhi, USA, well, what we did, New York and New Jersey, and UK. No, we did this, right? Are we good so far? Any questions? Can we move on to the next topic? Are we good for today? Enough for today. Want to practice? I see some yes. Yes for what? I asked a bunch of questions.
Good for today's topic. Need to practice.
Okay, then let me. I will not leave you guys. Don't worry. I will ask questions. What is the biggest table in ServiceNow? If you hate me, hate me. But this is for your good only. What is the biggest table in ServiceNow?
Don't know.
Please. What table incident is shared with? Incident is a child table of
Extended tasks.
incident is a child table of
Extended tasks.
task. Table
Tasks.
name
Sorry.
is
Okay.
task.
Okay.
Table name is task. So what is the biggest table in ServiceNow?
Tasks.
Task. In which table all the users will stay?
_user.
Wonderful. Right? How can I open a table in a new tab?
With a section option.
How can I, what is the keyword that we use to open the table in a new tab? Table records in new tab. Very beginning we talked back to school. Basics. How many user interfaces we have?
2 user interfaces.
What are they?
UI 15 and UI 16.
UI 15 and UI 16. Yeah. Amit, yes, man, you are not audible. Amit, you are not audible. Can you speak? Say hi. No, you're not audible. I can't hear you. Okay. Table name dot list.
Table name.
Uppercase LIST. Uppercase LIST will open the table in new tab. Table name dot lowercase list will open the table in old tab, same tab. Okay. What is extends table?
If you want data from another table,
No data. It's not data. Right? You are close, but
yeah,
it's not
field
data. You know,
something.
structure, right? The what we call it? Schema, right? Copy the
Yeah.
schema. Schema of other table. Yeah. See schema of other table. Okay. Now, what is a elevated privilege role?
We can log in as a different user. I mean, we will. Sorry, that is impersonal user. I'm sorry.
What is
Elevated,
elevated privilege role?
that's the super admin kind of a role. Only when it is enabled, admin rights will be available for a particular user.
1 second.
Security admin. Okay.
So what is that? Security underscore admin is a role that will do that. Okay. It's this clearly shows that you guys are not practicing, but please, yeah. So you don't practice, that's a problem. At least make a note of these questions. Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to talk some development concept. Okay. It's going to be fun. Any questions? You want me to repeat anything? Feel free. If you want me to repeat anything, I don't mind repeating it, please, but don't keep your questions with you. All right, then. Yeah, take care. So we'll catch tomorrow. Practice, man. Please. How many of you requested for instance? Everybody?
Yeah, I have set up.
You have set enough. Samya, have your instance? Okay then. Take care. Bye. See you. Take care.